operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck. You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning on this Wednesday. I have a favor to ask of all in the chat. I love you guys for coming on to the show and waking up with us early birds. Do me a favor. Please keep your comments clean, okay? Because there's going to be some times when we post them and we are on television network with Zebo. Just please keep your comments clean. That's all we ask. Other than that, let's have some fun. Sean Manaea was a maniac yesterday for the Mets.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he's a local kid because I used to watch him pitch when he was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That curveball of his
was dirty last night.
Oh, my gosh. Mets win 7-2. Pete Alonso got the scoring started with a home run to open the scoring. And before the Phillies knew it, it was 6-0. As mentioned, 7-2 is the final. Game 4 is tonight. Gentlemen, do the Mets close it out?
Yes.
If they do, Jose Quintana is going to need a decent pitching performance because in the postseason, in this series, he's only had 5 strikeouts. He needs to be a little bit sharper than that in order to take the Phillies down.
All right. Besides Quintana, what will it take for the Mets offense to close things out tonight?
Get going early, get going often.
I'm going to say they do close them out. The Phillies have, and JJ's going to hate me for this, but let's just be real. The Phillies have skated on their record into the postseason. They clinched the East with some time left, but they haven't looked themselves. They needed a walk-off to win game 2.
No, they coasted in, and that's the problem. I think when it comes down to things with these series, the guys that go in as the wild cards or whoever plays in the wild card series has the advantage because they're still playing ball.
Yep.
You know, they're not taking time off. They're still in rhythm.
If you get one of the 2 high seeds, then you get a week off.
And it's shown that it's not exactly a good thing if you look at all the divisional series right now.
Yeah.
And the Bruins good to know as well.
Man, leave my Bruins out of this. We're talking baseball. Shut up.
Here we go.
And yet you still lost to a wild card team.
Shut up.
All right. Our playoff games today, Tigers and Indians at 3:08 Eastern, Mets and Phillies at 5:08. I'm still flipping a coin on whether to do that one or this one. Royals and Yankees at 7:08, and then the Padres and Dodgers in a possible clinch situation in San Diego. That's at 9:08. All times are Eastern.
And I do have the probable starters for a couple of these games. It's Ranger Suarez countering Jose Quintana in New York. And in Kansas City, it's Clark Schmidt being countered by Seth Lugo.
Seth, I don't know. Seth's been really on and off. I mean, he did well, last series, but my biggest concern is his fastball.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like he has no fastball, and even when he does throw it, it gets cracked to left center.
Victor, you're a former pitcher. When you don't have your fastball, there's a lot of problems, isn't it?
When you don't have your fastball, you don't have any other pitch.
No, you don't.
You have to make them respect your fastball before you can use anything off speed. If they don't respect your fastball, they're going to cream every other off speed pitch you have.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Well, we know a specific pitcher in the past who had no fastball due to a missing muscle in his, in his elbow.
Mm-hmm.
And he just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm a master of the knuckleball.
That's true.
Tim Wakefield.
I mean, there are people who can do it, but usually what happens is you have to establish the respect for your fastball because that's going to mess up their timing. That's going to mess up their timing when you start throwing your off speed, your change up, your slider, your curve.
Yeah,
And that's the front pitch. You know, as the late Ed Farmer would talk about it all the time with the White Sox. The fastball was his front pitch, and you have to lead with that. And like Victor said, you got to make them respect your fastball. Quintana has lost a lot off his fastball since his White Sox days, and I tell you what, he's gonna need it tonight. He's really gonna need it tonight.
Yeah, because I hate to say it, if he doesn't establish things, KC is going to be in for a very long series.
5:08's the first pitch in New York. Now
7:08, 5:08, 5:08's the Mets.
7:08, and it's not in New York; it's in Kansas
City.
Kansas City.
I'm not awake. I'm sorry. They are in Detroit for the Tigers and the Indians. As mentioned, that's at 3:08. Phillies and Mets in New York at 5:08. Yankees and Royals in Kansas City at 7:08. And the Padres and the Dodgers from Slam Diego, that's at 9:08. To Droid we go. He's been following the Royals for us all year long. It seemed like they had a lull coming into the wild card round. They win the wild card round. And the key for them, as you mentioned to me off the air, was for them to get a split in New York.
Yeah, and going into this series, one of the most important parts was splitting in New York because we all know how electric that stadium can be in the playoffs. So going into their house and getting that 4-2 win was huge.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with going into Baltimore and getting that 2-0 sweep in the wild card.
Yes.
That was huge because it proved that we can win on the road.
And that was something you had a big concern with coming into the playoffs because it took a while longer for the Royals to clinch their wild card spot. And your first immediate concern to me was the Royals playing on the road.
Well, the Royals playing on the road actually wasn't my concern. My concern was when they take one loss, they just go on a sudden losing streak. Like if you go back to September, you'll see from the 16th to the 22nd, we went on a 6-game losing streak from losing 3 in a row to the Tigers to losing 3 in a row to the Giants. And to answer your question, Evans, yes, they did make the playoffs. They just got destroyed by the Tigers.
They got destroyed by the Tigers. 2 games.
Or as Vicola likes to say, they got creamed by the Tigers.
And I got no comeback for that because I watched them both. They did get creamed by the Tigers. What do the Royals have to do tonight to seize that 2-1 lead?
Trust in your infield. Don't be afraid to throw a pitch down low for a double play. Because as you saw in the last game, the Yankees got on base a lot. And if you want to get out of that inning, don't be afraid to throw one low, maybe a little bit of an off speed, throw them off, and get that double play to get out of there.
Yeah. Let them put the ball in play to your infield because that's the Royals' strongest point.
Right. That is something that I see a lot of pitchers make a mistake on. You know how we talk about hero ball when it comes to quarterbacks?
Yes.
When trying to throw the Hail Mary home run ball.
Yes.
I see the same thing with pitchers too. Like they want to like put the whole game in their back and like, go for strikeout. If you can get a strikeout, that's great. But trust in your infield to also help out. Throw a low curve and get into a double play or just a quick 6-3 put out. Rather than try and just go, I'm gonna do 3 pitches and get them out. Because usually if you keep letting that battle go on and on and on, eventually you're gonna throw a bad pitch.
Yeah. And one of the things is like you also got Salvador Perez back at catcher because we acquired Yanni Gurriel, our new first baseman. And then we also got Tommy Pham out in the right field. Trust your infield more. You got Yanni Gurriel at first base. You got Michael Massey at second. You got Bobby Witt between them at shortstop. And then you got Garcia at third base. You got a pretty solid and strong infield. If you just trust them to make the play, don't be afraid to throw low. And that was the problem Reagans had last night, a couple nights ago against the Yankees. He did get the win, but sadly, the win doesn't go on his docket. It goes on Zerpa's docket.
Mm-hmm.
Is he threw 15 pitches for 9 strikeouts. Cole Reagans threw 87 pitches, 49 strikes, only got 5 strikeouts.
To San Diego we go, and a 6-run second.
Capped by Fernando going
Tatis.
Yado.
Tatis is showing up.
That was all the Padres needed. 6-5 was the final last night. They're up 2-1. And Teoscar Hernandez brought the Dodgers back with one swing in the bat with a slam. That came in the third as he cleared the bases, made it 6-5. But the Padres defense made it hold up. And their bullpen has been dynamite.
Yep, and Steve Linkowski, a.k.a. Urinating Trees, said the biggest problem for the Dodgers, pitching. You may have Shohei Ohtani, but is he throwing the ball?
No, he's not.
He's just batting right now.
Because he's coming off of Tommy John's.
Yeah. So when you have no Shohei Ohtani pitching, you're having to rely on a very narrow bullpen.
Yeah.
Also
say that again. Say that again.
When you got no Shohei Ohtani, you're working with a very narrow